I have a guilty pleasure, and it is a tropical smoothie. I must have one a day, at least one a day for breakfast. I don't know if that is a reason why I am stuck at 260 pounds. Welcome to your daily health briefing. I'm Dr. Albert Tackett. This show is here to help you navigate the complex U.S. medical system, one step at a time. Whether you are decoding a new diagnosis, fighting for a referral, or just trying to stay informed, you are in the right place. Let's get into the science. Now, this is my patient, Darren. Darren comes to see me for a monthly visit. He's taking a GLP-1, working on weight loss. He's a DJ, very active, works out 5 days a week, and really diligent, trying to lose weight, and he's doing his best. So we did a little bit of math and calculated his resting metabolic rate and his total daily energy expenditure. That is, all the calories he burns in a day. And then I also asked him how many calories does he burn when he works out in the gym, which he didn't know. And what type of exercises did he do when he was in the gym? Now, like most guys, he does more weight training than cardio. When he does cardio, he does maybe 30 minutes of walking on the treadmill, but he spends about 45 minutes to an hour doing weight training. And now I will come back to that in a few minutes because that is a favorite of guys. But when we got into his diet, that's where things got interesting. So I asked him, how many calories you eat a day? He wasn't too sure because he wasn't tracking his calories. But what he knew for a fact is that every day on his way to work, he would stop by and get a tropical smoothie from a place around on his way to work. So I looked up the smoothie and found the calorie count, and it was 502 calories. And those 502 calories were before everything else he ate during the day. And so I told him, Darren, if you are going to have a breakfast for 502 calories when you're trying to lose weight, you might as well eat a steak. And he burst out laughing, but it's true, because let's look at the facts. Let's get a little bit into the science. To lose weight, you have to give your body less calories than it needs, right? So for bread, we calculated his resting metabolic rate and his total daily energy expenditure, as I said earlier. And so doing the math and what else he ate for breakfast and lunch and dinner, found out that he was basically eating as much as he was spending in terms of calories. So he was in a net zero. He took in as many calories as he spent. Little wonder his weight did not change. But that smoothie was a huge contributor because sometimes it was one, sometimes it was two smoothies. So it could range from 500 calories to 1,000. And that is the trap of this smoothie craze, because a lot of them are very high in calories and many patients do not know that. But another thing as concerns the science is that smoothies are not filling, right? If you drink a smoothie at 7, 8 a.m., I can guarantee you by 10 a.m. you will be hungry again because those are liquid calories. They don't stay in your stomach too long. They don't stimulate a sensation of satiety. If you take the 500 calories and eat instead the equivalent in chicken breast, that would give you about 12 ounces of chicken breast, and I can guarantee you, you will not look for another meal until 3 p.m. in the afternoon. That's the problem with liquid calories. Same goes for ice cream, right? Things that are high in carbs. You eat them, they feel delicious, an hour later, you're hungry again. And that was the problem with Darren's strategy. He was putting in all the effort, but guess what? He was allowing hidden calories to sabotage his efforts. And so this is where Darren and his doctor, you guessed right, this guy, sat down to come up with a plan. So we looked at the caloric intake, we looked at his daily energy expenditure, and agreed that he should not eat more than 1,500 calories a day. Now, before you tell me that is not a lot of calories, it is actually a lot, especially if you are taking a GLP-1 medication. Because the fact of the matter is that the GLP-1 medicine, as Darren was taking, is supposed to reduce the sensation of hunger, so it works in the brain to make you not feel hungry. And secondly, it slows gastric emptying. So when you eat food, it stays in your stomach longer. But guess what? A smoothie does not stay in your stomach. It glides through the stomach, and before you know it, it's all the way in the intestines and being absorbed as energy. But if you eat the same amount of calories in protein or protein-rich foods, fish, turkey, meat, low fat preferably, these things tend to stay in the stomach longer, and they work in unison with the GLP-1. And if you overconsume them, there is no room for them in the stomach. You start feeling sick and you stop eating. That is the power of combining good information with a good strategy. So as we came together and fixed this situation, Darren and myself, guess what happened? The following month, he lost weight. And then the month after, because he took away the smoothie that was sabotaging him. And then we also talked about identifying other hidden sources of calories. Let me tell you the biggest one. Nuts. Peanuts, walnuts, almonds, every type of nut out there. Those are the second biggest sources of hidden calories in people's diets. Because think about it, when you sit to eat nuts, you're eating them like a snack. Most people mentally do not consider snacks as a meal, right? When you ask somebody, you didn't lose any weight last month, what do you think happened? They're like, well, doc, I don't know. And I don't even eat that much. It's because most people consider a meal when they sit down with a fork and a knife to eat. They don't consider snacking as meals. But snacks are loaded with calories, especially when it comes to nuts. I will challenge you, just grab a little bit, anything that has nuts, look at the calorie count on them. Now, the reason why nuts are even more dangerous is because they are branded as healthy foods. They have healthy fats. But as I always tell my patients, you will have a healthy heart, but you will weigh 300 pounds if you stick with nuts. Unfortunately, that is also a problem. That is really not of the patient's making. It's from us doctors. Because when we tell patients that this is a healthy food, we forget to give them the proper context. Healthy doesn't mean low in calories, right? Nuts are healthy, but they're high in calories. They will make you obese while giving you a healthy heart. At the end, it is counterproductive. Same goes for avocados. They're healthy fats, but if you're not careful, they will make you obese. Same goes for the Mediterranean diet. If you eat the Mediterranean diet and you do not exercise and you're sedentary, guess what? All that food will make you gain weight, and then you will destroy the cardiovascular benefits of a Mediterranean diet. So at the end of the day, calories matter. And that is the story of Darren and his tropical smoothie. So if you take anything from this episode today, the first thing is I want you to start monitoring hidden sources of calories in your meals. Start looking at the calorie count on the snacks you eat. And if you are stuck, you're not losing weight, but you are taking your GLP-1 medication or any other weight loss medicine for that matter religiously, start tracking your calories, because the truth will surprise you. So if you take anything from this episode today, track, okay? If you're not losing, there is a reason why that scale is not budging. It's because of hidden calories in your diet. Find that blind spot and get rid of it. I will see you next episode, because the fight for your health care doesn't stop. This has been the Daily Brief. Medicine is not about certainty. It is about responsibility. Decisions are often made with incomplete information, but they are always made with your safety in mind. In a system that can feel rushed and fragmented, you deserve clarity, continuity, and an advocate who sees the whole picture. I am Dr. Albert Tekken, your physician ally, high-level science, human-level care. I will see you at the next briefing, or I will see you in the clinic.